Do you remember when this guy at the Glass Comedy Festival said this?
Free. All right, but have you heard this one though? Death to the IDF. 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 Hell yeah, from the river to the sea, Palestine must be, will be, inshallah, will be.
So I predict a big boost for that. That's a duo, by the way, called Bob Villain. They got their visa canceled immediately. They were supposed to do a tour in the United States, and they certainly got uninvited to the William Morris holiday party. Their agency, I think, was UTA, dropped them. So they're making all the right enemies, and I think it will.
That's the UTA.
Yeah. And by the way, saying death to the IDF is not the same as
not at all.
That is not inciting violence. That is death to an organization. You want an organization to die. No problem. There's no problem with that. I don't.
They made it okay on Meta to say, "I want Russians to be killed." Remember?
Yeah. Remember? Yeah.
They made that okay.
Facebook said it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facebook said it was okay. You could. Yes.
I fucking hate the idea of why. I don't give a shit what he said.
So the reason I bring this up is because just to let you know that the Zionists of I'm really, I don't know if I'm even sticking my neck out on this. They've lost. They've lost the narrative.
Generation.
The only people, as Tim Pool said, it's going to be over for Israel as far as the United States in 10 to 20 years. I think it's sooner than that. Even Republicans under 50 years old are no longer on board with Israel. But watch this. This is why I bring it up, because it's over. This proves to me it's over. Watch this.
Where was the condemnation for Hamas? Are you saying that?
So they're talking about what we just saw, what I just showed you, Bob Villain doing that, and they're asking, where's the condemnation for Hamas? They're still trying that. Do you condemn Hamas? And watch what this young lady says.
Where was the condemnation for Hamas? Are you saying that what happened on October the 7th was not acceptable?
When you do this,
no, I'm asking
another people in the media do this again. It is to justify, nothing justifies genocide against the Palestinian people. I'm here to tell you exactly what I think. I'm not going to condemn Hamas. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to condemn the IDF, the occupation, and the role of Western imperialism in that entire.
Hang on 1 second.
I am here to condemn David Army and the British government and British imperialism's role.
Hang on, this
genocide.
So the young lady, I'm pretty sure her name is Fiona, is on message. She's not letting these two nitwits get her off her message. She's not going to get derailed on her message about, hey, I'm here to condemn the IDF. I'm here to condemn Keir Starmer. I'm here to condemn the British government for supporting a genocide. That's what I'm here. I'm not here to condemn Hamas. You guys can do that all you want.
I did. I condemned them in 2006, but Bibi paid them to exist.
That's right.
So I would have said these two chuckleheads, I condemned them 20 years ago, but the president of Israel supported them strategically, and it blew up in his dumb face. So why don't you blame Israel, whose fault it is?
Okay, it gets better, actually. This actually gets better.
You cannot sit there and seriously say you will not condemn Hamas.
Yes.
Well, you can. I'll tell you what, the British public are watching you. The British public are watching you. And if you will not condemn terrorists, people who have caused absolute chaos upon the Palestinian people, the ones that started this conflict, can you see the disdain, the British public?
I like how they still push that lie that somehow Hamas started this conflict.
Right.
The people
to do it.
The people who were living in a concentration camp, occupied by their country, being slaughtered on the day, they're the ones. Okay, hang on.
People of Palestine, Jewish people will have for you.
I'm happy to condemn terrorists. Let's start with Keir.
Hamas.
Let's start with Keir Starmer. Let's start with David Lammy.
No,
let's
start with the people that started this war.
Who started
this war? Who started the war on October the 7th?
I'll tell you, it began in 1948 with the forced expansion.
No, it didn't.
Would actually go further back than that.
We can get into a historical discussion. It's not worthwhile.
You are so correct. The British were entirely involved in setting up the Zionist state. They were entirely involved in that. So British imperialism historically is responsible for those crimes. And today it is still responsible for those crimes. And what makes you so angry, actually, is the fact that more people support people like Bob Villan, more people in Britain actually want to see an end to the occupation. They don't support Britain sending arms to Israel. And that's what enrages you.
They don't support Bob Villan spouting out vile anti-Semitism. I don't want you to sit here and call the British public racist and anti-Semitic, because they do not support.
Because you
just said people support what Bob Villan said. You just said that, and they don't. They do not overwhelmingly.
I think
he's been given.
But you're not upset about 100,000 Palestinians killed. You're not upset about the fact that the IDF killed
children. I don't want children to die.
Don't shout at me, please.
Fiona's amazing.
She says,
yeah, well,
I like how she says, she says, don't shout at me. So just to let you know, when they go, who started this? Who started this? Well, Max Blumenthal's here to remind everybody who actually started this war. Here it is.
Of course, war is horrible. So why did the Palestinians initiate this war with their vicious attack on Israelis on October 7th?
Well, they didn't. They didn't. This war has been going on for 75 years. Israel initiated it in 1948 by ethnically cleansing 750,000 people. We must expel Arabs. We must expel Arabs and take their places. We must expel Arabs and take their places. And if we have to use force, not to dispossess the Arabs of the Negev and Transjordan, but to guarantee our own right to settle in those places, then we have force at our disposal. David Ben-Gurion, the first prime minister of Israel, said that in 1937. And that's what they proceeded to do. The people in Gaza, this is what you need to understand. The people in Gaza, over 80% of them are refugees. Many of them are from a place called Majdal Askalon in what is now southern Israel, in a city called Ashkelon. And they were dragged from their homes and driven from their homes, placed in prison camps, barbed wire prison camps, and then dumped in trucks in 1950 into the Gaza Strip, where they would be permanently warehoused. And then Israel proceeded to move Arab, Jewish refugees and Russians into Ashkelon to prevent them from ever coming back, and pass laws to prevent Arabs, Palestinians from being able to return to their homes. 750,000 were ethnically cleansed. For 18 years, the remaining Palestinians, 100,000, were internally displaced inside Israel. The remaining were put under military rule. They were under military occupation until 1966. Then in 1967, Israel violently, in a war it initiated, occupies Gaza, occupies the West Bank, occupies the Sinai Peninsula, the Golan Heights in East Jerusalem, and then invades Lebanon in 1982, attacking Palestinian refugees there, puts Gaza under siege in 2005. No one can get in or out without Israeli military permission. We must kill and kill all day, every day. That's according to Arnon Sofer, an Israeli government consultant who helped devise the siege of Gaza. For years, Israel would not allow certain chocolates and A2 paper into Gaza. And then they began these brutal military assaults, which they call mowing the lawn. Slaughtering a few people will leave Hamas intact, but teach them a lesson. And I talked to you about those assaults that took place on Gaza. So this didn't come out of a vacuum. You're not going to be able to hold people under siege, to cut them off from the world, and then expect them to just play along. That doesn't mean that I celebrate what happened on October 7th. It should have never had to happen. The reason it happened is because of the Israel lobby here, the genocide Democrats and the genocide Republicans who deny the Palestinians any right to have rights. And it's the right to have rights that defines you as a citizen. They're citizens of nothing. And now we see what Israel really thinks of them, really thinks of their children. Gaza has become a graveyard for children, according to UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. So this didn't start on October 7th, and it's not going to end when there's a ceasefire.
Well said. Well said.
If you're against Jews, you're an asshole, because Max is Jewish and was pro-Zionist and went there to try to prove how great Zionism is and came back very disillusioned, and now that's what he says. So I think he's extra trustworthy just on that basis alone.
Oh, I didn't know he was.
He said that, yeah. He said he went to Israel to prove that it was like good and they treat him well and was horrified. People that are true believers are going to turn on you the hardest when they find out your hypocrisy and lies. So I really identify with him. In fact, that's what a bunch of Jews say. Norman Finkelstein, whose parents are Auschwitz survivors. I didn't understand the conflict at all, I realize now, until he came on the show. And they make it out like it's complicated. No, it isn't. It's so simple. The complications are caused by lies of America and England and Israel and Saudis. They're all lying to make it complicated. But you took these people's shit and you don't want to give it back. It's real simple.
And these people, like these people here, it's not. Every manipulation trick is like them shooting a broken arrow. It's nothing. No one's ever going to believe anything that comes out of their mouths anymore.
Yeah.
Certainly over this. No one.
Rent boy and fruit fly here.
Yeah, rent boy and fruit fly.
Yeah.
So it's over. There's no better. I mean, that's just all they could do is scream, "Condemn Hamas, condemn Hamas." That's not working.
I did already.
Yeah.
I did a long time ago. I would have said somebody who pays them to exist is supporting terror, and they should go to Guantanamo for supporting terrorism.